living in a world gone geek. It's time to geek hard or go home. The podcast is real. Here's your host, Grounded Geek.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. We are back. It is episode 5. We're very excited to have you all back on the show. Broadcasting live on YouTube and Twitch right now, and we are really grateful to be here for yet another week. Sorry we missed you guys last week. Our guest last week was unable to come. It was Andy Hopp was going to be here. Con on the Cob is this week down here in Richfield, Ohio, literally right up the street from my house. And he was going to come in and talk to us about it, but had some family emergencies arise. And then, obviously he's prepping for the con, so he just wasn't able to make it. But I was able to get out to Con on the Cob this week, and, we'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute. But before we do, I want to bring on my co-host. In 1 second, let me bring him up. Here he is. There's Utah. Welcome.
Greetings, program.
What do you have now?
I'm sorry, I was
a different toy every week. We were just talking before the show started why we don't have any money and or budget for the show is we buy too many of these things.
We buy too many. This is my Optimus Prime plush.
That's pretty awesome, though. I gotta say, and it was the anniversary recently for the original Transformers movie.
Yes.
30,
yes, it was 35.
Is that right?
35 years. Yeah, 1985.
I don't want to admit that was how long ago.
No, 86. Anyway, yeah. He's very soft and cuddly.
That's awesome. I do enjoy that. Where did you get that?
It was a San Diego Comic-Con thing.
Okay. Is it like a Funko Pop style, or is it just a different style?
I mean,
so
it's
not
just
that brand.
It's not the brand. No,
Gotcha.
it's made by who is it made by? Symbiote Studios. And they do a lot of plush versions of various franchises. And this year happens to be Transformers. Yeah, I remember when this first dropped, I sent the link over to our friend Mike Mayhack.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a big Transformers guy.
Pretty much, yeah. He's named his kids after Transformers. So
right. Bumblebee, Megatron.
No, it's not. But yeah, he's a big fan.
So he was excited about this too. I don't know if he actually got one, but he was pretty stoked about it.
You may notice that we're one co-host short tonight because Aaliyah could not be with us tonight.
What's up with that?
That's right. Aaliyah could not be here. And
she is not amused.
She's not amused about being here, but she's moving. So she's busy. Good luck to her. She's moving into a new apartment and whatever. And she just had a birthday.
Happy birthday to her too.
Just a couple days ago. So happy birthday to Aaliyah. We miss you on the show, but we'll be looking forward to having you back.
Is she able to drive yet?
Is she able to drive? What do you mean?
Yeah. Is she old enough to get a license yet? Or
yes, she's not that young.
So
wait, now we're doing young jokes about Aaliyah instead of old jokes about us.
Because she's not here, she can't defend herself.
That's what we're doing. Yeah. So no. Yeah.
Oh, can she vote?
Stop. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I went to Con on the Cob, and it was really cool.
How was it?
Oh my gosh, it was really fun. So I didn't have a chance to go the whole time. I really only, it's our conference season at my regular job, my full-time job. So we were doing live productions on Thursday.
You have a regular job?
I do. And doing a lot of different things for that. So that kept me busy. Couldn't make it. But yesterday I tried to get out there for a little bit. A good friend of the show, Chris Fury from Blurred's Eye View, was doing a panel there about POC in the geek community. And so I had to go out and support him. And it was a good panel. Good guys. And oh my gosh, I met in that panel a couple of nerdcore hip hop artists, Mark Cooper and Juice Lee. They're not partnered up group. They're two individual nerdcore hip hop artists. But they, oh my gosh, I've listened to them since then, and they're amazing. And they also both were very excited about coming on the show, so they're going to come.
Excellent.
In a future episode. We're just getting them booked right now. In fact, Juice Lee actually has his own comic book series called Scrap.
Yes.
He is a writer, and he signed it to World Gone Geek, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
His first one. I just finished reading it before the show. That first one. I haven't read the second one yet, but it's good. It's really awesome. So you should check that out.
Cool.
It's at MPC Comics. when he comes on the show, we'll actually put a link in the show notes and all that and talk more about it.
Yes.
But that
Did you see Andy? Did you see Andy at all?
I didn't see Andy. I was so mad. So Andy was our guest.
Is he avoiding us?
I think he is. He must be, right? Because I told him I was coming and he's nowhere to be found. No, he's
going busy.
He's obviously super busy as the supreme overlord of Con and the Cobb and Oddmall and all
Yes,
those
absolutely.
things. I did not get a chance to see him. So Andy, if you see this later, I missed you, man. It was awesome to check out.
Hey,
Con
call
and the
us.
Cobb. Yeah, we have to get you on the show, and we'll talk about an Oddmall that's coming up. But tonight,
we got a template and everything.
That's true. We do. I just changed the date and title.
Change the date.
And put it in there. Yeah. Tonight, though, we have a great guest on the show. As you guys know, we are all about the motto that everyone is a geek about something, right? So a lot of people, when they think geeks, they think Star Trek or Star Wars or comic books or Transformers.
Something sci-fi.
And if you look at behind Utah, I've mentioned all the things that are behind. That's what you think about, right? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? We own that because I'm
not helping, am I?
No. I mean, look, I've got a Fallout helmet behind me. I don't know if you can see behind with my mic. I mean, we've got the geek stuff going. We rep.
I've got these two. I have musical instruments. Come on.
Yeah,
now.
but everyone is a geek about something. You might have a sports geek, music geek, whatever. We want to celebrate what people are passionate about, the things that they geek out about, whatever that is. And a lot of our fans and some of our good friends are absolute music geeks. They love rock and they love music and. We have a musician and metal artist, composer, vocalist, you name it. He is all of those things with us tonight. His name is Rocky Kramer. And we're going to just play a brief little snippet of one of his music videos. We're not going to play the whole thing. You're going to have to check that out for yourself on YouTube. But as we bring him on, we're going to play this for you. So let's check it out. Let me bring it into the stream. Let me get rid of us so they can see it.
I hate school.
Class, the bell has rung. Everybody come in and take your seats. I said to take your seats. This applies to you too, Mr. Kramer. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm fed up with the shenanigans and the screwing around. Time to put on your thinking caps. Mr. Kramer, sit down, please. Rocky, 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 Rocky.
Going a little bit, but I love it. I'm loving that whole vibe at the beginning, right? It was we were just talking about beforehand how nostalgic that made me feel. That was like when MTV was still cool. Remember, like that just totally took me back to like when
they played music videos instead
of
the reality shows that they do now.
Yeah. So please welcome to the show, Rocky Kramer. Welcome to the show, Rocky.
Thank you. Hello, fellow humans.
Rocky. And not in animated form, in real life human form.
That's right. In Norwegian form.
There you go.
It must be cool to have a name like Rocky because there's a chant built in already for you, like that everybody knows, right? Everybody knows it's a chant for Rocky, and so...
Exactly. That's what it's all about. You want a name that people can chant.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Right?
All right, man. Well, welcome to the show. Really enjoy your music, but I want to talk about your story. I want to talk about like why you kind of got into this, why this is a passion for you, why you geek out about this, and kind of some of those types of things. So tell us your story. Tell us kind of when did this start for you? When was your first introduction to music?
So I'm from Norway, first of all. I'm from the third largest city of Norway, which is Trondheim. And it's maybe about 100, or back then it was about 150,000. I think it's about 2,000 now. No, not 2,000. 150,000 now, it's about 200,000.
There we go.
Where'd everybody go?
Everybody left.
So it's a small place, but it's kind of a rockin' place. And there's a symphony orchestra there. And my father was the first violinist in it.
Wow.
So that's kind of how I started on the violin. And my mother, who unfortunately passed away when I was 5, she was a piano teacher. She sang in a choir. That's how she met my father. So that's kind of, that was the very beginning, was just, there was music in the house. And it was classical music, not rock and roll. That's something that, I was, what should I say, poisoned by my neighbors with the rock and roll bug.
Yeah.
And but that's, yeah. So I started with the classical. I started on the violin and played violin for a long time, about 7 years, I think. And basically from 7 to 14, 15. And then picked up the guitar when I was about 10 or 11 and realized that that's my passion. That's what I wanted to do. And started playing guitar every day after school, for 3 or 4 hours, why do your homework when you can play guitar?
When you can play music,
sure.
So
that's just how I started out. And one of the first things I did was start a band. I'm like 11 or 12, playing a band. It's like this is cooler than playing, Vivaldi or something. And even though I love Vivaldi, don't get me wrong. I mean,
sure.
I love that stuff, but I just fell in love with the sound of an electric guitar. I love that distortion which kind of, in some ways, it kind of sounds like a violin in a way. It's just it's a great sound. I love it. And you can do things with an electric guitar that you can't do with an acoustic instrument. So that's maybe why I enjoyed it so much.
Nope.
But I think it was just all that music that kind of got me going.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it was in your DNA with your parents being obviously very musically talented as well. But tell me, when you were 11 and you're starting this band and you're learning electric guitar, who were your influences at this time? Like, who were you listening to? What were some of the musicians that were kind of inspiring you at that time?
Well, if we're gonna talk about geeky stuff, I'm a very, very huge Kiss fan. Like
Nice.
I generally know more about Kiss than I know about myself, and I might know more about Kiss than Gene Simmons knows about Kiss. So that was always that was my first real, my first favorite band, and
Nice.
That's how I started. And of course, I was listening to Pink Floyd and the Beatles and a lot of the British music and. Some heavier stuff like Iron Maiden and Metallica, and I've been through sort of all those various phases, and Ozzy Osbourne, and kind of trying to figure out why, there's all the Satan stuff, and it's like what, but he's wearing a cross. It's like he's a Christian, but he's singing about Satan stuff, and it's like
Right.
okay, I don't understand it, but he can do whatever he wants, but it sounds cool though.
Right.
So. But yeah, I don't think Floyd was a big one, definitely because of just how the music is written and composed. A lot of it takes advantage of synthesizers, and they're using, sometimes it's just like a very long chord, and the chord is just kind of almost puts you in a trance. And I think that's something that I could really get into, because a lot of times we listen to music just in the background, while we're doing stuff. And a lot of people these days, they listen to the music, or they listen to music when they're on their way to work or to school or wherever they're going, to the grocery store to buy Snickers bars or something. But it doesn't matter. They like listen to music in the background. But Pink Floyd, you can't just put that on in the background. You have to be in a quiet room with good speakers and really enjoy yourself.
Now, did you said that you originally started with violin. Was that instrument one that your dad was encouraging you to play? Was he then also encouraging when the guitar came along, or was there any pushback? Was he just glad that you were still doing music?
He was definitely in favor of me playing the violin, and that's really how it started. Was he actually wanted to teach my brother to play the violin, and my brother, who is 2 years older than me, he picked it up, and he was my father was trying to teach him how to play it just in like an ambulance sound, which is really just a finger up and down. It's like like that, and my brother was kind of like trying to figure it out, and I'm just watching this. I'm just playing my air violin as a 5-year-old. I'm thinking, I can do that. And I said, can I try it? And I picked it up, and I just right away just. No, I'm just kidding. And so the first thing is what happened is that my father realized that I should be the one playing violin, and because my mother was a piano teacher, she played beautiful piano. It made sense to have my brother play the piano, and of course he started playing the piano, and he immediately knew how to play it. So it was just, for some reason, I was the natural on the violin, and my brother was the natural on the piano. It was just, we just had to figure that out, because I've always struggled on the piano. So for some reason, my brother can do it perfectly. He has no issue with it.
Huh.
And then I had no issue with the violin. It was just that's just how it started. And we were very young, so we didn't really know what it was all about. We had no real ambitions about being professional musicians or anything. We were just playing it. It was new to us, like, because all the other kids, they were playing soccer or something like that. They're all into sports, and we were like, no, I'm taking violin lessons. Oh, okay.
Now,
like,
so
okay.
what did your dad think of the guitar when that came along?
Okay, so the real story behind that is that my brother wanted to play the guitar. Maybe, I don't know, I was maybe a few years after this happened, and my father said, okay, let's get you a guitar. So we got him an acoustic guitar. I think it's like a 3/4 size. It's like a junior guitar, like it's a little bit smaller, so it's easier for a kid to play it. And I said, I want a guitar too, and he's like, no. Like, oh, okay, that's odd. But so I would at first I picked up the guitar, like, which was my brother's, and I just played it, and I was like, maybe it's not for me. But then I would say maybe 2 years later, when I was about 10 or 11, I picked it up again, and I fell in love with it. I want to play this. So I would just, every day I would borrow my brother's guitar, and I would play it, and then I would say to my dad, can I get one? He's like, no. And eventually I ended up buying my own guitar with my own money without telling him.
Wow.
Without telling him.
That's right. So it's like, surprise!
I was going to say, eventually he's going to notice when you start playing it, right? It's not exactly a quiet instrument.
No, it's
not.
It can be. He obviously, when I showed up at the house with a guitar and an amp, I had to tell him. But
sure, right.
He wasn't very happy about it. But what can you say when you spent your own money on it, you saved it up. It's not like I stole it or anything. It was a small amp. It's not particularly loud or anything, and I never played it very loud either. So, but that was just I was so passionate about it. I wasn't gonna let him know, not let me do the thing that I wanted to do with my life. So
right. Out of curiosity, so what was that first guitar that you bought?
Oh my God, it's. And it's gonna sound weird because I love Stratocasters, and I play Stratocasters now every day, and I have lots of them. But this, when you're getting your first guitar, the options are usually a poor quality Stratocaster copy,
right.
Not like a real Fender, but like a cheap one, and they're not very good. So I said I'll get anything but a cheap Strat copy, right? And they said, okay, we have this thing, and he goes like in the back area, and there's like, a bunch of boxes, and it's like, we have this one guitar. Do you want this? And I said, whatever it is, just I'll take it. And it was, it had this weird green, not even like a military green. It was a sparkly, ugly green color. But it was my guitar, and I was like, I liked it. It did the job. It was probably the equivalent of like a $200 guitar, which is very like the low. It's not the very cheap ones that are maybe like $100 that you should never buy because they
Right, 'cause-
basically will cut your fingers up because they're not done very well. But it was just it was like the very at the bottom of like beginner guitars, but it was fine. It was good, and I really enjoyed it, and that's really what it was all about. And that's really how I developed that foundation on the guitar. Because before that, I was just borrowing like my friend's guitar. And I would like the school had an electric guitar, and I would stay after class and play the guitar. Which is a weird thing.
So
That's very cool.
So this first band that you started, what was the name of it?
The first band was called Svid Rock. Now, Svid obviously doesn't mean anything to you because it's a Norwegian word, but
Okay.
Yes.
it basically means like burnt or like maybe charcoal or something. There's not a very good translation, but it's kind of like something burnt. It's like burnt rock, if that makes any sense.
All right.
Because you can't really burn rock. But anyway, I do want to say the guitar was a Les Paul double cut. Just to mention that.
Oh, nice. Is that where
so
your
it's
love
like-
for Fender started then? Was it, well, at $200, it probably wasn't a real Fender, was it?
No,
Or
it
was
wasn't. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. It was made by a company. The company was Reno Guitar Technology, and
RGT.
it was the weirdest thing. I've maybe 6 months later, I found it in a catalog for that particular store. But I've never seen that brand anywhere
else.
It's like this fantasy guitar, It's like, where did this come from? Came from Narnia or something.
It was
You never
fate.
know.
It was destiny that you and
destiny,
this guitar would meet.
They went,
And put
they
you
went
on
into
this
the back
path.
and took it out of a wardrobe. And
That's right. They opened up the wardrobe in the magical portal.
It's been here
That's
for
cool.
200 years. Like, what?
That's right.
You never know. It's like,
Do you still have it?
I was gonna say, do you still? I was gonna ask
I
the same
do.
question.
okay, I think I'm a little bit, nostalgic about those things. I have to hold on to some things, right? And the
Absolutely.
first electric guitar, that means something, and I do have it. But what I did with it is, since I bought it, I bought a few other guitars, and I would replace the pickups on them. So I put a Gibson pickup in it, so it does actually sound a little bit better.
Oh, nice.
And I put some heavy strings on it, and I can tune it down. So it's tuned down to something very low. I think it's like a C sharp or maybe a
Oh,
C.
how cool.
So it has I said I'm not gonna play it unless I give it a purpose. So the purpose
Right.
is that it's
Gotcha.
tuned down, and it's just so it's actually kind of cool. And but I don't know if you'll ever see me on stage with it, but maybe.
That'd be cool.
never
That'd be
know.
cool if you had a song that took advantage of the tuning.
Yeah.
That'd be very cool.
Absolutely, I have thought about doing that. I'd also kind of been looking at 7 strings and things like that, just to kind of expand on that.
Oh, fun.
Interesting. Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, that's amazing though to hold on to something like that. I mean, that's kind of the one that started it all. I mean, you don't want to. There's
Yeah.
things that I wish that I still had from back when I was a kid. You know what I mean? That meant so much to me then,
Yes.
and it's like, why didn't I keep that stuff? Especially since, as we've talked about, like I'm into tons of geek things. I went to see Star Wars in the theater when it came out. Like that's how old I am. And so I had
Yeah,
all these
you're old.
figures. I had you're older than me by 12 or not quite 12 months, but
Not
anyway.
quite 12.
But I had a Millennium Falcon. I had an AT-AT, from Star Wars, like these things. And then, now
Sweet.
how much those are worth. But the thing is, they would be worth a lot. But if I still had them, like, I don't think I could sell them. Like, there's,
No.
you know what I mean? There's something about it, just that you had, this passion
True.
for it, and it sticks with you for your whole life. Yeah. So how many guitars do you own now? Like, just obviously you still have this
Oh,
first one.
look at that smile. He's
Yeah.
like,
It's tough because you never think that you're gonna get to that point where you don't keep track anymore, but it does happen when it comes to something, especially when it becomes your living and you start getting like I started getting guitars because I was looking for something specific, and then after a while you find something that has maybe it's made out of a certain wood or something. So
Right.
I endorse Fender, so I do have a lot of Fender guitars. I think I
Nice.
have, I want to say 4 Stratocasters, and I have 1 Telecaster. So that's 5 right there.
Yeah.
And I also have a jazz bass, which is
oh, nice.
I mean, I play a little bit of bass. I don't consider myself a bass player, but I do. I like to play.
but you can
bass.
yeah.
I
Do you have
can
any
handle it.
Jaguars or anything,
I play it
or
on demos.
mostly
That's what I do.
Oh, nice.
What's that?
Do you have any Jaguars, or are you mostly a Strat guy?
I'd like to get one. I want to get one at some point because they do. I like the way they sound. I like the way they look. So that was actually what I wanted. The first Fender I ever wanted was a Jaguar, and I
really?
Just I for some reason didn't pick that, and then I picked up a Stratocaster, and I said, I think this is maybe more for me. But it was probably because I was listening to a lot of guitar players that were playing Stratocasters.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like Richie Blackmore and Yngwie Malmsteen and Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton. The list goes on. So it sort of made a little bit more sense for my style. But I love the way they sound. I love the way they look. So that's probably going to be one of my next guitars.
Excellent.
Am I forgetting a guitar? So I said the Telecasters. I have a few. I have like 2 Gibson guitars, and I have an Ibanez.
Oh, nice.
And I have a Guild 12-string that I got for my birthday, which is a beautiful, beautiful guitar. I always wanted a 12-string, so that was.
12 strings sound amazing. They can really. There's just something about the 12 strings that.
It's just amazing because when you play on a regular acoustic, it sounds nice. It's nice, but when you play a 12-string, it's like whoa.
Oh, it's crazy, right? It's just so different.
Yeah.
It's very
different.
And fullness.
Yeah, and I never really thought about it so much until I started playing them myself. And like on this album, the Firestorm album, we used a lot of 12-string. We had this 12-string from 1977, which was it just sounded great. It's got that Supertramp sound. I mean, and this particular guitar had been used by Weezer and Jane's Addiction and a lot of I think it was Neil Diamond, I think I'd used it too. So it's like really cool. Like a lot of rock and roll history in just one guitar, which I think is cool.
Yeah, how cool is that?
So it was awesome. But now all I remember was that the neck was so thick.
Oh yeah,
my hand was like,
no bar chords.
This neck is a little
chords.
bit thinner. So this one is super comfortable. I love playing it. I mean, it's been a joy.
Now you
Very
said
cool.
You said you dabble a little bit on the bass. What other instruments do you play? Obviously violin at one point, and you a little bit of piano, or you can play the piano, right? Because you did.
Yes, I mean I play it in a horrible, disgusting way, but I make it work. When I make demos, I've been making demos now for the next album, and I play all the keyboards.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
basically, what happens is that I learn it, and I record it, and I'll fix the little errors and so on. But if I had to play it on stage, I would have tomatoes all over my face. It would just it would not be a good sight.
Yeah.
But I do
throwing
like to play it.
vegetables.
I play drums. I know drums well enough, mostly because I like to write the drum parts when I'm making demos. And it's kind of inconvenient to record drums at home because, there's people.
They're loud, right?
There's people inside and outside and above and below. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's not that crazy, but I like to keep things relatively quiet. It's enough that I have to have a loud guitar amp on when I'm recording. So I'm trying to be a little bit considerate about my neighbors.
Yeah.
But I do play drums. I like to play drums on at least one song or one album at some point. That's one of my goals, is to play all the instruments on one album, just to
Very
be like,
nice.
Yeah.
Hey, I would love to do it. I like Paul McCartney does that,
Sure.
or has done it. At
He
least,
does.
on
Prince
some
did that a
albums.
lot,
And
too.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's why I wondered if
that's
you,
one of my goals.
if you did that, but it sounds like just for like the demo, when you're just kind of pitching the songs, you'll do it that way.
Yeah.
But when you're actually recording the album, you'll bring in folks to do that. Do you have like a regular band that you tool around with?
Yes,
Or tell us
I
about these
do,
guys.
and that's kind of why I want to let them play, because I want to, because we're touring together, and so it makes sense for them to play on the album. And we found like the drummer is Alejandro Mercado, he's from Chicago, plays great drums. He's kind of like the drummer that I've wrote the music for without knowing who he was, if that makes sense. Like he does all the
that's cool.
all the fancy stuff and he's got a good feel. And we got Michael Dwyer on bass, who actually was teaching at MI in Hollywood. If you're familiar with the Musicians Institute.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like the rock and roll place for musicians, because that's I mean, like for example, my drummer, he actually was there as a student, and his teacher was Alice Cooper's drummer. It's
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
You know, like that's really cool. You know,
That is very cool.
yeah. So and they have everybody's, like every famous rock musician. They've been there doing some kind of master class or something. So it's a great place to be. So my bass player was teaching there for a while. So that tells you kind of where he's at. And we got Matt Grossman on keyboards, who's this really good combination of a classical piano player. Like he knows all the old classic piano pieces. Whatever composer you can think of, he knows all of them, which is kind of the stuff that I grew up listening to, either because my brother was playing it or because my father was playing it. Because my father, even though he's a professional violin player, he also plays piano, and he would even play piano before a concert, which was like
just
how
to
he
warm
would warm up. So it's really nice having in my band. It's really nice having like guys who are really just very like they know all kinds of music. They're not just stuck with like one genre, and like they're experienced with everything. Because my music is kind of a little bit of everything, because I like all kinds of music. So
I was going to say,
it's nice to have people that understand all kinds of music too. You know.
Yeah, because I've noticed that in your songs there's a certain, I guess I kind of want to say kind of a symphonic quality to a lot of your songs.
Sure.
And so that must come from your classical music background that you grew up in, and it's just kind of through osmosis or whatever, you just kind of kept it.
Yeah, because my father, a lot of times he would take my brother and I to concerts, and we would see whole full concerts with the orchestra. We would see operas and ballets and anything you can imagine. That they can put in a concert hall. It was there. Sometimes with a rock band, sometimes with pop, and it was just growing up with all of those sounds, because a symphony orchestra is just so full of different instruments that sound
so
different
much, yeah.
and look different, and it's just hearing that. I just had to kind of bring that in when I started writing music, which was. Sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes that's a bad thing, because trying to get those ideas recorded without bringing in like the whole LA fill,
right.
It's it can be
trying
tricky.
to recreate this sound without bringing in an actual Philharmonic orchestra,
without hiring 100 people.
Right, exactly. Now I want to quickly say, because one of the songs on your album, the Firestorm Symphony, I love because it is. I love the fact that it's an instrumental and it feels so much like a classical piece. I mean, you did a great job of layering the sounds, and I swear, did you get the opening melody from like Dvorak's New World Symphony? Because I swear I hear it.
Oh my God! I'm gonna search that, because I don't think so. I'm not familiar with it, but. I may have heard it without realizing it.
I was going to say, there's no plagiarism or anything like that. It just instantly, for whatever reason, as soon as I heard the first bit of your song, I just instantly went to like back to my high school orchestra days. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've played this on violin, and it's so cool to hear the same sort of phrase in a totally different genre of music. It's really cool to hear. I really appreciated it. That was really cool.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a lot of times that's one of my favorite songs on the album, because I kind of always wrote music that was instrumental, and I always wrote music that either had violins or horns. Like I just was more into that, and Firestorm Symphony was just one that it was just. I mean, I've written a lot of songs like that. It's going to be more of that on the next album.
Very cool.
It's very symphonic, and you're going to hear a lot of instruments, and hopefully I'm going to have my dad play violin on it. That would be really
how
nice.
Cool.
That's the goal.
That would be amazing.
That'd be amazing.
Coming full circle.
So he's fully accepted your rock star status then.
So he has, and I think he gets that it's my passion, and it's what I want to do, and he's I think he's enjoying the music too, because he's when I was growing up, he was kind of, I don't want to say anti-rock, but he wasn't all that big into the rock, and I get that. But then he realized that it was something I was really into, and my brother was too for a long time, even though he's more into the jazz now.
Oh, okay.
It was just like he started listening to it, and then once he started listening to it, he could appreciate it, like, you know, because they're completely different worlds, and that's fine. But I think at least I appreciate both. I love classical music. I listen to it all the time, and I mean, of course, I've come from that background, and I, you know, grew up. I mean, I used to perform it a lot. That was like my first performances was on the violin.
Was on the violin.
Yeah, so that's what I grew. That's where I started with performing. So I didn't start with a guitar. I mean, I started with a violin in front of the school, or in front of a senior folks home or something, or in front of usually a lot of parents. It was usually like, okay, all the parents get together, and sometimes it's like 500,000 people there. You know,
wow,
that's where you get used to performing without being nervous. You know, and knowing like, okay, I've rehearsed this. It should be fine.
Should be fine.
Hopefully.
So you grow up, you fall in love with music in Norway, but eventually you made your way over here to the United States. Tell us a little bit about that. How did you end up here, and kind of how did your music career then advance once you moved here?
I wanted to do this for a living, and in Norway it's not always the easiest thing, because the music industry is a little bit limited. It's not that it doesn't exist. There are some famous Norwegian bands, Aha, Take on Me, like,
that's right.
We in Trondheim there's a band called TNT, and they're like a big 80s kind of hair metal band that did fairly well. They had Tony Harnell on vocals, who's American. So they
is Motorpsycho? Are they from Trondheim too?
Yes, Motorpsycho. Yes.
I only know that because I have friends who are from Norway, and so they've mentioned Motorpsycho before. So.
Motorpsycho is actually a great band, and
are they? I'll have to listen to them.
Give them a shot, because they're every time I hear Motorpsycho, I always think about Motorhead, because because they both have the motor in the beginning. But Motorpsycho is a different band, but it's a good style. I never seen them live, but they're actually pretty successful. So it is possible for sure. Don't get me wrong, but I was just looking for more of an international situation where I could tour the world instead of touring just Norway, because that tends to be the Norwegian music career experience. You played 30 shows in Norway.
It's very self-contained.
It is, and it's cool, because if you're a celebrity in Norway, then everybody knows who you are, and in Norway, and you're always on TV. You're always like, even if you haven't had a hit in 20 years, like they still put you on TV because everybody knows who you are. So it's a cool, it's the big fish type of situation. But
gotcha.
I was always kind of into the whole going to the United States and be an American rock star type of thing. Like, I just you gotta have big dreams. I think that's important, because you never know what's gonna happen, and if it doesn't happen, that's okay. It's always worth giving it a shot. And I just was reading about a lot of bands, a lot of artists, and a lot of them went to LA, and a lot of times LA is what made it happen for them. So I figured, maybe that's where I should go. And I'm from Norway, so I'm used to very cold weather. So why not go someplace where they actually have palm trees and beaches and nice weather all year.
So
that's great.
You weren't looking to come to Cleveland then, which is where we are.
Well, that was my second choice. Yeah. That was my second choice.
Yeah. No.
If you ever misses the cold,
you just come
here in the
visit
winter.
We have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame up here, though. You know what I mean? So you may have to come up here at some point to get inducted.
I can assure you. I'll be there. I'll play there anytime. Would love to play there. But awesome. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that's like way down the line. I don't even want to talk about that.
Don't want to jinx it.
You have to earn that. You have to really earn that.
That's true. Yeah. So you came. You came over here. How old were you when you first came to LA? Then.
So I came here when I was 21, and I basically said I'm gonna go here, be here for 1 year, and if I can't get a record deal in a year, I'm just gonna go back home to Norway. And I got a record deal in 11 months.
Wow.
So
Nicely done.
Just in time.
just in time.
That's awesome.
So, I think that like it's nice to pursue your dreams, but you gotta set those limitations. You gotta have like you gotta have the goals and you gotta have the limitations so that you don't end up just staying there forever and looking for breadcrumbs.
Sure.
You want the whole bread.
Yeah.
Give me the bread. I'm hungry.
Give me that whole loaf now.
The whole loaf, yes. But yeah, but that's kind of how. And then it's just so I got signed through Island Artists Music Group, and that's kind of how it all came together. And Kim Richards produced the album, who had worked with Pink Floyd and Queen, so they were some of my influences. So it's really nice to have people involved that have worked on things you really you really love. It's not just like, oh yeah, I know that, but it's like, oh yeah, like I listened to that 100 times. There's a difference there.
Yeah,
so
there's a big difference.
So that's kind of got the whole thing going. And sometimes it takes a while because you got to get the band. I didn't know anybody when I came here, and it's just like it was a struggle to kind of get everything going. But eventually, you make things happen, and then you get the album out, and then all of a sudden there's a pandemic. So,
the timing.
Just started touring too.
Oh, my gosh.
Really?
Yeah, tell us about that. So, what was the?
Yeah.
So how far did you get into a tour before that happened?
We opened up for Buck Cherry in the UK, which was really cool actually. Those guys are very nice, and coincidentally. Somebody who I think he had worked with Buck Cherry. He said he came up to me and he thought I was the lead singer for Buck Cherry. Now this happened a few years before, and all of a sudden I'm opening up for Buck Cherry. So it's like, whoa!
How cool is that?
It was really cool. I had a great time, and we were basically saying, okay, we're gonna go. This was in November of 2019, and we said we're gonna go back to the U.S. Put all the gear away, and I was going to go to Norway for Christmas, and I did. Came back here, and then all of a sudden we were planning on. I think is that a mosquito? Sorry about that. We were going to tour the whole United States in the summer. We were scheduled to be on this big tour with some big bands, and we were really looking forward to it. We hadn't announced it yet, but we were just talking to the booking agent about it. It was like a week or two before everything shut down, and all of a sudden we're like, but what about us?
Yeah. Oh.
And we weren't sure, but it was like, okay, so here we are. Anyway.
Yeah. Are you still not touring yet? Like, are you guys planning? I mean, some places are opening up, some are still closed. It's still obviously a very kind of a flux situation. But I was just like, what's the plan how do you plan for something? What are you guys trying to do?
It's tough to plan anything because we're seeing people cancel shows. We're seeing people postpone shows. Even now, like just last week, I saw several artists postponing their shows. So we're kind of we're waiting a little bit. I've been on Twitch performing once a week, and which is a different type of performing because normally I'm in front of an audience, and now it's like I'm in front of a camera. And then there's people in the chat. Yeah. And that's all you get is whatever people say. Uh-huh. So they might just close the window because they hated it, or they might think it was awesome, but they're watching it on their TV, so they don't want to bother writing something on their phone. Sure. Like, you don't know. And then you got a lot of people that do write things, and a lot of people do requests and so on. So that's kind of been my it's been my relief. It's really helped me a lot because I'm so used to performing. I've been doing it my whole life, really. So not being able to do it for so long, I don't think I could have survived without it. So it's a nice way to still be able to rock and roll, just in a very safe
in a different way.
It's funny how many people have kind of turned to the live streaming kind of thing during this. And just earlier this year, we had some guests on Free Daps who are they're improv freestyle hip hop artists. So they They literally will take suggestions from the audience and make up raps like on the spot, and they're incredibly talented. But their entire shtick is like engaging and interacting with an audience, and so they also took their show to Twitch during this whole thing, and they've been doing live shows.
Nice.
But now they're back, getting back in front of a few crowds here and there. But now that Twitch is like a regular thing for some music artists, it's just you got to get in front of an audience, right?
Yeah, I mean, I support it completely because I think it's a nice way to reach out to essentially anybody. I mean, technically, there are a lot of parts of the world that are asleep when you're performing, and unfortunately for me, since I'm Norwegian, it's like 4 a.m. in Norway when I start, so it's a little tricky for my family to watch. Even though my brother has stopped by, who is kind of a night owl anyway, and I've had some family that would have like set their alarm to just to watch at least for a little bit.
That's sweet.
So I always appreciate that. That's very kind. But since I'm in the U.S., I do get a lot of people either from the U.S. or Canada, but I get a lot of like South America. So there's this combination of people that come in, and there's always different requests and people. I mean, I've learned one thing, that everybody listens to different types of music, so there's always a different band that's suggested, and I try to learn things if I don't know the song, and if I do know it, I try to play it so people feel like they're a part of it. It's not just a controlled set list. Like if you go see Metallica, like you can't just go play Seek and Destroy, like right, because they have everything figured out beforehand. They don't do anything.
Right,
random.
You've got a schedule. Yeah,
it's like everything is figured out beforehand. So it's kind of nice doing something spontaneously. Like there was one time when somebody said, "Oh, can you do Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On?" Now, that's not a song that you would hear from a guy like me. That's something you want to hear Celine Dion doing. But I said, I know the song, at least I've heard it many times. So I figured, I'll do it. And,
that's awesome.
So it's one of those things. I never would have done that if I was just performing with my band, because we always play original music. I mean, we do some covers here and there, but that's more just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a very different thing, because I'm just doing things. It's more fun. I'm trying to keep it casual, and it's a casual Tuesday rock and roll experience.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Who's currently touring that it would be your dream band to tour with, like to be whether it's opening or just be on a bill with? Who's that dream band for you right now? Who's still touring? And then let's do it twofold. Who's still touring, and then of all time, like if you could be at any point in time, who would it be? And maybe it's the same band. I don't know, but I think and it's an interesting question.
I think I know one of those answers.
Yes. I think if it was any band in history, I would love to open up for Pink Floyd. I think that would be an amazing thing, even though I don't know how the audience would feel about it, because it's like, I don't know what Pink Floyd fans are like when it comes to opening acts, because they're there to see Pink Floyd.
Sure.
I don't know.
That's fair.
But I think bands that would be more compatible, that I think would be a good fit for me, I would say like Dream Theater. Yngwie Malmsteen. It would be a Deep Purple. I don't know if Deep Purple. I don't think Deep Purple performs anymore, do they? I don't think they perform live anymore. Yeah. I think I looked that up a few months ago, and I think they haven't toured in several years.
Yeah.
But it's like they have I mean, Kiss is touring. I would love to open up for Kiss. That would be an amazing thing.
Wow,
obviously, that would just be incredible, just as a fan. But also, I think that my music was influenced by Kiss. There's definitely a symphonic element in my music that you'll never hear in Kiss, except maybe The Elder, which was their concept album with Bob Ezrin, but which wasn't a fan favorite. Or maybe it's a fan favorite if you're like a really dedicated fan, but it's not the one
that's a very deep cut. Yeah.
It's like that's the one that whenever they do acoustic sets or something, like when they do the Kiss Cruise, and they say, "Oh, what song do you guys want to hear?" There's always somebody saying, "Play something from The Elder." It's like, why?
And they're like, "We don't even remember that."
Exactly. That's exactly right. They're like, how does that go again? And they know
Right,
maybe half of the song.
That's not something we have memorized.
That's great. So what are you most excited about for the future then? Obviously getting back on the road has got to be part of that, but what can we expect from Rocky Kramer next?
I think the two really important ones are right now that I'm working on. One is I'm working on my next album, which
Nice.
I think is going to be a really. It's kind of like when you make your first album, you learn a lot, and there are things that you know. Okay, I'm going to work on that next time. So I think that this next one is going to be something really special. So I'm looking forward to doing that. There'll be more information about that soon. But it is a concept album. It's currently about 70 minutes long, so it's a little bit longer than Firestorm. Firestorm was about 60, so that's really cool. The other one that I'm also very excited about, because I'm not only a musician, but I'm an actor, and I'm gonna do a movie called Rockin' in Time, which is it's like a rock and roll time travel adventure. So stay tuned for that.
That sounds fantastic.
Yet, but, so Rockin' in Time, you can check it out. There's a website and all those things.
Oh, that's
okay.
It. Yeah,
Well,
what's the web?
to...
Tell us what the website is. Is it just rockinintime.com?
You know what? If for some reason it was available, rockinintime.com.
Awesome.
And it's
How about
Rockin' in
that?
Time on all social media. So stay tuned for updates on that. We're filming it next year, and should be out in 2023. So
that's awesome.
it's gonna be a little while, but hang in there. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah. Well, tell folks where they can find you as well. Your website, your social medias. Like, how can they find Rocky Kramer?
Sure. RockyKramer.com is the easy one. There should be a link there to everything. It's usually Rocky Kramer. So it's Rocky Kramer on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch and watch me live.
I just followed.
You did. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then on Facebook, it's Rocky Kramer Official. So that's the only one that's a little different. Oh, and TikTok. Don't forget TikTok now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Don't forget TikTok.
I always forget TikTok.
Oh, that's right. So are you, what time do you go live on Tuesdays, did you say again?
Okay, so it's called Rock and Roll Tuesdays, and it's 7 p.m. Pacific. Now, I think you guys are Eastern, so it's
that's
10 p.m. for you guys.
10 p.m. our
cool.
time.
So
10
it
p.m.
would be after our show. So we do a game show, which I was going to announce at the end of this episode that we're coming back with the game night. For those of you who joined us on Thursdays, it is being moved to Tuesday nights. So we'll be on Tuesday nights, so you can watch us, and then we can
then flip over to
what do they call
Rocky.
it? The Twitch, the follow raid or whatever it is.
And then raid Rocky.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
right.
raid Rocky's show
uh-huh.
right after. That's right. Well, we'll be done a
There
little
you
bit.
go.
We'll be done well before 10, but
Okay.
we're old. You know, we want to go to bed early and just no. I'm kidding.
I go to bed at 9:30.
That's right.
That's right.
Exactly.
No, but yeah, so we're back for that. That'll give me a chance to announce that. That was awesome. But Rocky, it was so great to talk to you and so great to have you on the show. We're going to put all your links and
Likewise.
whatever in the show notes when we drop this in the podcast form tomorrow. And I can't thank you enough for being here. It was really a pleasure to talk to you and hear your story.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right. And for
It was a lot
those
of
of
fun.
you, don't forget next week we're going to be back. We have a great guest. I'm going to bring it up on the screen for those of you on the podcast. You won't be able to see
Wait,
this.
we're doing this again?
But here we go. Yeah. So next week, episode 6, Cassandra Fear from Fierce Confections.
I love her so much.
And yeah, she's amazing. So she is a chocolatier and a candy maker who does really cool designs and has some really cool geek-centric candies. So a lot of Star Wars, style, and she's just a really creative individual. Unfortunately, we're all going to be remote, so we wouldn't be bringing samples. But
Yeah, see?
I'm
have to
going
do
to
the
try
ins-
to get out there this week and get some.
We have to do the in-studio stuff so she can bring the candies to us.
I know. Well, we got to get back to that point, right? That's where we need to
Right.
be. And so until then, it's StreamYard for everything. So again, thanks Rocky for being here. Everybody, make sure to join us again on Tuesday night for game night. Back here on Sunday with Cassandra Fear from Fierce Confections. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all of the socials, TikTok, all the ones we mentioned. And we will see you guys next time for World Gone Geek. The podcast is real. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you.
Watch Squid Game.
Squid Game.
The Podcast is Real is a World Gone Geek production.